So with this, we now move forward with our first panel discussion. Once again, we look forward to all your interesting remarks coming forward with the hashtag GenNext 2022. So with our first keynote opening plenary session with the theme of Spotlight on Businesses Gaining Greater Relevance with Changing Tides of Time, Need for Law and Policy for New Age Businesses. Herein we found some very interesting remarks coming forward from Shri Rajiv Chopra ji and Anand Desai, taking the agenda forward for the 11th Annual GenNext Thought Leadership Business and Law Congress 2022. We now move towards our first panel discussion. The first panel discussion is on a very significant topic: focus shift from pharma to healthcare industry, new trends, challenges, and opportunities. With this, without further ado, let me invite on the moderator for the session for our first panel discussion, focus shift from pharma to healthcare industry, new trends, challenges, and opportunities. We're delighted to welcome our moderator for the session, Hemang Parekh, partner DSK Legal. I take a moment to introduce Hemang Parekh, who definitely needs no introduction. Hemang Parekh is a transaction lawyer and advises clients on their investment and strategic decisions in the areas of corporate laws, commercial laws, and other related laws. He has significant transactional experience in transactions of M&A, private equity, venture capital investments. He has extensive experience in advising various family offices, multinational and domestic companies, private equities, venture capital funds in areas of corporate law and other related laws. He has been associated with DSK Legal for a period of more than 11 years. A warm welcome, Mr. Hemang Parekh, partner DSK Legal. Welcome, sir, our moderator for the session. I now invite on, before I hand it over to our moderator, I will now invite on the panelists for the session. Mr. Parekh, do I have your consent to invite on the panelists for the session? Do I have to give a thumbs up?
Yeah, please. Thank you.
Thank you. We are delighted to have amongst us Kaizad Hazari, President and Global General Counsel, Glenmark Pharmaceuticals Limited. Kaizad Hazari has over 29 years of experience in the legal field under different sectors. He has specialized in business advisory, corporate M&A strategic, business strategy, structuring, amongst others, and has handled high-stake litigations and commercial transactions. Welcome, sir. We're delighted to have amongst us Vandana, legal head of TATA 1mg Group. With more than 11 years of experience, Vandana's profile is a combination of a law firm role, an in-house counsel, and a consulting firm. A lawyer as well as CS, Vandana is an excellent team worker who joined him as associates, a boutique law firm based out of Bangalore in 2011. Her role at Themis was to lead the team for handling the pre and post actions related to funding transactions. She's a recipient of several prestigious awards, a go-getter personality who believes in converting impossibilities to possibilities. Welcome, Vandana Sheikh. Moving ahead, we are delighted to have amongst us our next panelist for the session, Mohit Khullar. Mohit, Managing Director, O3 Capital. Mohit leads the healthcare practice at O3 Capital. Prior to joining O3 Capital, he co-founded a healthcare technology business, Nerve24. He has over 15 years of experience and worked with Aquarius Capital, Standard Chartered Bank before starting his entrepreneur venture. So on that note, I would request our moderator for the session to take the proceedings on from here. Once again, welcome everyone to the very interesting panel discussion on focus shift from pharma to healthcare industry, new trends, challenges, and opportunities. We're delighted to have amongst us Mr. Hemang Parekh, partner DSK Legal, our moderator for the session. And on that note, we welcome our distinguished panelists, and I hand it over to our moderator, Mr. Parekh, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Legal Era, and nice meeting all of you and my co-panelist. So just to initiate the conversation, Kaizad, I would like to start with you. We're seeing a lot of activity in pharma healthcare sector, and all three of you, Kaizad, you, Vandana, Mohit, come from different backgrounds, looking at different experiences. So it's good to have you on the panel, and we would love to learn something from your experience today. So just to start the conversation, Kaizad, can you throw some light in terms of, we're seeing this year has started with many regulations coming in for the pharmaceutical sector. And at some places, regulations are being made more stringent in terms of packaging, in terms of the information that is disclosed to the consumer. Whereas there are certain relaxations when it comes to importing certain medicines, pricing restrictions. So what is your sense, Kaizad, of how the government or the regulators are looking at these kind of changes? Are they more consumer driven to benefit the consumer, or are they more policy decisions given the global scenario?
First and foremost, thank you. Thank you, Hemang, and thank you, Legal Era, for having me here. I'm really delighted to be part of this panel discussions. So, Hemang, coming straight to your question, I think the whole idea of the government is to make the pharmaceutical industry more robust, and the whole objective being that we are able to manufacture everything locally. We should be fully independent and not be dependent on other countries. I think that is the overall objective. And secondly, the other objective of the government, whilst they are looking at the regulations, in my view, is to ensure that the patient's interest, the consumer interest, is protected. So I wouldn't say that it's only got to do with one particular aspect. It's a multiple aspects today the government is looking at, so as to facilitate and help both the pharma industry as well as the consumer at large. That would be my submission on the question that you have posed. Of course, there are the whole regulatory environment is quite dynamic. There have been many changes in the past, and there will be many changes going forward. I think the government also is learning on the ground as to what all needs are there for the patients, for the consumers, and particularly also for the pharma industry. Just to give you an example, the government today, in order to ensure that companies do invest in technology, do invest in innovation, has come up with and compete with cutting edge technologies across the globe with other players. They have come up with the PLI scheme, and that scheme really is really going to help the industry because it's going to give some incentives. It's going to help the industry in some form or the other. And as you know, the pharmaceutical industry as such, there is tremendously under pressure because of the pricing regulations. Very recently we have seen the NLEM list coming out, the national list of essential medicines. Of course, the 30 new drugs, 30 new products have been added. 25 existing products have come out of that list. But more and more emphasis from the government, you would see, is laid on chronic and acute kind of drugs, particularly relating to cancer, diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, so on and so forth. So I think it's a very dynamic time just now. These regulations are also post-pandemic, if you would see. We immediately saw the need that there was the patients and the doctors were not able to connect. So the government came up with guidelines on telemedicines, and which really has helped. And now this particular telemedicine area has really evolved, and it's evolving even further. So I think it's a very dynamic position. The regulations